Alright, so while the house is still on the quiet side and no one is out and about yet, we are going to go ahead and show what is happening in here. So this is the new NAS project. Originally, I got this $50 mechanist or machinist board, whatever. It's one of those X99 recycled chipboards. And I was gonna build a basic NAS, but now I'm kind of going a little overboard. I'll explain why later, but this is the basic plan. Have 32 gigabytes of DDR4 ECC RAM. It's only single channel because, simply put, I already had it. It was originally going to be an 8-core 16-threaded CPU, but it did not like this board for some reason, so instead it has an 18-core 36-thread CPU in it, because that's the only other CPU I had that seemed to work with this board. So a little overkill for a NAS, but it might come in useful later. You'll see why. For graphics, I literally only needed something to output a display to the screen. That's just basic text. It's nothing crazy. So the thing I had lying around was a single slot Quadro K600, and because I need all the PCIe slots for something else, it's connected via a 1X riser. It's connected to the motherboard via a 1X slot, PCIe 2.0 1X slot on this 1X riser with the back notched out. And this works perfect. I was originally going to install one of those NVMe 4-slot NVMe carrier cards, but the motherboard does not support bifurcation. So we are going to buy two 4X SATA controllers that's able to host 6 SATA 6 ports at basically full speed. Not quite technically. I believe technically for full speed it can support 5 ports, so that's 6th port. Basically, long story short, it'll be as fast as a PCIe 4X interface. And so for the hard drive array, it's going to be, I think it's 4 4-terabyte drives. It's either going to be 4 or 5 4-terabyte hard drives in a RAID Z1. So one drive can fail before any data is lost, provided the drive is swapped out. Right? Okay. There's also going to be another single hard drive in here. Hi, Rose. It's also going to be another single hard drive in here. One second. There's going to be a single hard drive in here specifically set up to back up all the storage, and that hard drive will grow in size as I need it to. And then we're also going to have, theoretically, we're going to have here an NVMe SSD, probably 256 gigs, to be a cache for the main hard drive array. So we'll have a hard drive to back up, we'll have a single hard drive to back up the main RAID array, and then we will also have that 4-drive RAID array with the cache, with the caching SSD, just for the speed. And then the other SATA controller is going to be for 5 or 6 SATA SSDs, all in RAID 0, to get as much speed possible, because in this 4X slot here, try not to do that, in this 4X slot here, or maybe I'll move a SATA controller up there and get like a dual 10 gig card, I don't know. In one of the 3 slots here, there is going to be a 10 gigabit network card, as well as a 10 gigabit switch and another 10 gig network card going to my main desktop. And that 5 or 6 SSD RAID 0 will be my editing drive, and it should just perform like that, basically, theoretically. And so yeah, is This is basically it. It's just going to be a little bit of an overkill NAS, but it'll be significantly better than the last one that failed on me because I simply went too cheap on it. Let's take a look at the other computer. Just another note, the hard drive that you noticed that was already in there, that is just a drive to test with to make sure everything is working. This 1000 watt power supply went into my main rig because the 750 watt here wasn't enough. So I upgraded that to 1000 watts, and then I put the 750 watt into this computer, and then the 550 watt that went into the computer that you just saw, the NAS. Now, this is my bedroom PC, and that 8-core that I was trying to throw into the NAS, it was in this computer. I was using a Xeon as the main processor for this computer, and it worked for a while, but the single-threaded performance I was not crazy happy with. So in here now we have an i7-6850X in it, which should perform a lot better. These are not the RAM sticks that I am going to be using in this computer. Those are actually coming today. They're red to kind of fit with the rest of it here. But I just pulled these sticks of DDR4 out of my main rig to try it, just to test it, really, basically. And yeah, so i7-6850X, it's going to have 16 gigs of RAM, you know, enough, basically. This is an RX 580 Red Devil, 8 gigabyte. Yeah, it's a solid card for what it is. Originally, that green motherboard you saw was going to go into this computer, but I kind of needed all those PCIe lanes after I decided I was going to do more than just a simple hard drive array. So this motherboard ended up staying in here. And another thing is this is actually kind of like a 2 1/4 slot card, so I couldn't actually get anything into that 1X connection there. So I actually bought a riser, a right angle riser, to move this over so that we could install a 2.5 gig card. Because I am going to set up the local network to be 2.5 gig, even though the connection from the NAS to my main desktop is going to be 10 gig, theoretically. So improved speed to all the computers. I still need to buy another 2.5 gig card to go into the server machine, which will be hosting the Jellyfin server and all that. Or I'll keep going with Plex. I don't know. I'm not super satisfied with Plex. I want to try Jellyfin, but we'll see what happens there. And so, yeah, that's kind of it for now. For these computers, this is just what I've been doing. We have a Wi-Fi card coming. That Wi-Fi card is going to get installed under the GPU. And then, like I said, the RAM is coming today as well. So this computer should be done. The only thing I still need to do to the main rig is a 10 gig card and move where my M.2 SATA SSD is. I'm even going to get a separate enclosure for that and just connect it as if it's a normal SSD. You can get one of these same sized enclosures. That's the same size as a 2.5-inch SSD here. And then you can mount your M.2 SATA SSD inside of it and just run it like a normal SATA SSD. So we're going to get that. And then that'll free up the 4X slot in the bottom to put in the 10 gig card. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.